Walk That Line is back for a part two for this week in college football. And I'm going to tell you guys this much. We're going to have 25 total games that we're going to be playing this week. Expecting a big week. We want that to, let's just set the bar at 15 and 10. 15 and 10, start off the year 16 and 10. That's the expectation around here. Hopefully we have some success. If you are new around here, my name is Colin Bashingle, the host of Bash's College Football Show. This video and this segment is not gambling advice. It is strictly competitive. If you agree with me and decide to gamble on it in your own time, that is on you, but I am not instructing anybody that I think you should bet on this. I have an insider track that says, yo, bet on this. These are just some of my favorite plays for the week. Make sure you guys hold me accountable to what I'm wrong about. And if you, like I said, if you want to play it, if you agree with me on some of this stuff, that's up to you. If you want to parlay some of them, go ahead. I don't care. But you can certainly share like some of your best plays of the weekend down below in the comment section below. And make sure you like the video if you like the video and subscribe for more content. Real quick before we dive into this, I am going to be saving the preview for the Sunday night game until Sunday morning. We're going to try to do a recap of college football on Saturday night. Then when I wake up Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon before the first game between South Carolina and Virginia Tech, we're going to release a preview of Miami and Notre Dame. And then on Monday morning, I'm going to drop the preview to TCU and North Carolina. I think that's appropriate, but we're going to be doing deep dive research all day on Monday after all these games into week 2. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here because we got to walk that line for week 1 right here. All right. I know this is supposed to be a weekend edition, but there is one play that I love that I didn't play on the Friday edition. Now, another one that I do like on the weekday edition is Houston minus 22.5 against Sam Houston, but I like this one better. I expect for Michigan State to be really good. I think they're going to hit the ground running, and I'm not sure how good Western Michigan's going to be. 21 is the perfect line, but I would say buy a point if you can, because I could see this game finishing between 21 to 35 points, 21 on the low end. I really don't expect this game to be close, though. I think Michigan State should be able to have no problem here and win pretty big in this game. So give me Michigan State minus 21. It's a pretty big number to lay with the Spartans, but I trust in Jonathan Smith. Southern Miss plus 13.5. I wanted to put plus 14, but because I would frankly buy the point. But it's sitting right now at plus 13.5. I still like it. I think they keep it within 10. I think that this game is going to be really, really close, right down to the wire that Mississippi State pulls out late. But I expect for Southern Miss to keep this one real close. A game that I don't expect to be close. Indiana, minus 22.5 against Old Dominion. This Indiana team's not that much different from last year. They return a lot. They return a lot on defense, which is what I'm banking on here. And I think this game is probably going to end up being like 48-7. Now, Old Dominion's not a terrible team, but I think that the talent discrepancy and the ability for Kurt Signetti to get his team hyped up and rallied for this game, I expect for Indiana to dominate here. I think Toledo is going to keep it close on Saturday against Kentucky. Plus 9.5. I think they are live on the money line here against Kentucky. I really think that this Toledo team is going to be a very dangerous team in the MAC. Tucker Gleason, a really experienced quarterback with a lot of returning weapons around him, and Jason Candle's a really good coach, and Kentucky's a little bit of a disaster. If nothing else, Toledo's going to keep this one within a touchdown. UConn, minus 25.5 against Central Connecticut State. Central Connecticut State's actually not as bad as you would think, but they're still not very good, and this UConn team is pretty good. They return a lot from a really solid team a year ago. They shouldn't have a problem in this game. I know 25.5 is a lot of points to lay with UConn, but I love the UConn Huskies in this situation. Moving on to slide number 2, another big number that we're laying. I think Georgia's going to win like 66-7. Truly, I think they're going to win by 45-50. I know this is a huge number. And like I said, you don't have to play it, but I really just have a feeling that Georgia's going to cover this. Alabama, minus 13.5 against Florida State. Love it. I did the Alabama-Florida State preview. I think this defense is going to be suffocating. And if they're as suffocating as I think they have no problem winning by 2 touchdowns or more. I got Alabama minus 13.5. Liberty, minus 25.5 against Maine. This one was a last-second thing. You know, my resources kind of told me that this was something that I should add, so I'm going to add it. I trust in Jamey Chadwell, and this is the type of game where either Liberty fools around way too much, but because I think it's the first game, this is the most likely scenario, or they just absolutely hammer them. And I think they're going to probably hammer them. So I'm taking Liberty minus 25.5. Another one that I was iffy on, but I ended up choosing because, again, resources kind of were pointing me in this direction. Oklahoma, minus 35.5 against Illinois State. That's what we're locking up over there. Don't even overthink it. They should be able to hammer Illinois State. And I also think the ability to display this Ben Arbuckle offense in front of the home crowd, I think that's something that Oklahoma wants to put on tape. Certainly Michigan next week definitely concerns me a little bit, but I think this Oklahoma team should be fine to cover 35.5. Syracuse plus 14 against Tennessee. I do think that Tennessee is probably going to end up winning, but I think this is like a field goal game, a touchdown game, a one-possession game. I certainly think 14 is too much. This Tennessee offense is just not very good. And this Syracuse team, they're a little bit of a mystery to me, but I'm starting to lean into the hype a little bit. I think they could be live on the money line. Who knows? I think Syracuse plus 14, though, is a lock. Final slide here. The final 5 games to talk about. These are all night games. I love Louisiana minus 11.5 versus Rice. This could be a little bit interesting to a lot of people, but I trust in Louisiana. I think that they have a lot of talent. I think that they're going to be a contender for the Sun Belt title. And this is also Scotty Abel's first game over at Rice. He's got a receiver starting at quarterback to run this triple option. I think Louisiana is going to pole drive them into the ground. I truly believe that if Louisiana can live up to the expectations that I have at least set for them. Georgia Southern minus 1.5. I really wanted to get this earlier. I actually did get it earlier on the money line when they were plus odds, but when I made this slide, it was 1.5, so I ended up playing at 1.5, but I still expect for Georgia Southern to win this game on the road. I don't think it's going to be an absolute blowout, but I think they're going to win pretty comfortably. I don't think Fresno State's going to have the ball with under 5 minutes to play in the fourth quarter with the chance to tie or take the lead. I'll put it that way. But I do think that the over will hit. I think this Georgia Southern team could have very much success against this Fresno State defense, throwing the ball around with J.C. French over there at quarterback, and Clay Elton's teams love to throw the ball around. And I also think that that could make them a little bit vulnerable to giving up some points too. This is my favorite over-under of the week. 51.5, take it. I also like Arizona, Hawaii, over-under, the over, 52.5. And the main reason why is I have debated this because of Micah Alahado's condition potentially after that week 0 injury against Stanford. But I think this is the type of game where Arizona could get 40 to 45 of these points by themselves. And all it's going to take is a couple of really good drives for Hawaii for this over to hit. So I like Arizona's offense a lot to put up a lot of points, which is why I got them going, this game going over as well. And then finally, Washington, minus 20.5 against Colorado State. Colorado State's going to be pretty decent, but this is a very good opportunity to display all the talent that Washington has. They have a really good running back. They have their quarterback, Damon Williams Jr., who looked like a stud. Washington, a lot of people calling a sleeper for the playoff. I think game 1, they're going to be ready to put it on Colorado State. So there's our locks. Again, let's go over it real quick. Michigan State minus 21 on Friday night. Then you go to the early slate. Southern Miss plus 13.5 against Mississippi State. Indiana minus 22.5 versus Old Dominion. Toledo plus 9.5 at Kentucky. I said versus is at Kentucky, excuse me. UConn, minus 25.5 against Central Connecticut State. Georgia would lay the big number against Marshall. Alabama lay the points with Florida State, or lay with Alabama at Florida State. Liberty lay the points. Oklahoma lay the points against Illinois State. Syracuse take the points, plus 14 against Tennessee. Then you got Louisiana. They're going to absolutely pull Drive Rice, minus 11.5. Georgia Southern is going to have no problem beating Fresno State at minus 1.5. Georgia Southern and Fresno will also go over 51.5. Arizona, Hawaii will go over 52.5. And Washington will cover 20.5 against Colorado State. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe for more college football content. We'll see you guys probably maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a reaction or whatever, but certainly follow me over on TikTok if you want to see my posts throughout the day tomorrow. College football is officially back, and I am so pumped.